All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got your watch list coming in December 2nd, 2019, and welcome to the stock market in December, baby. It is the last month of 2019, and this has some implications for the stock market, so I want to go over that, the keys for tomorrow, what we're going to be looking at, kind of in a short-term scale for both December as well as this week and what it's going to set up for, and then I got two stocks, or I guess a play idea and even an overall strategy I'm going to be looking at for this week. So, before we begin, though, you know what you need to do. Drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed. And if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. It's the first link in the description, and it is pinned in the comments. Hopefully, we see you there tomorrow and the rest of December. But do not forget, too, the most important thing. Post your watch list below. Let us know what you're looking at, any plays, any ideas, anything of that nature. We will be going over that in the morning tomorrow. And I don't know when I'm going to release it. I didn't follow through for you guys. I have the news video. I did have it completely shot and ready to go, but I didn't want to post it this morning. I wanted to make sure you guys saw the watch list, so I have that for you. I don't know when I'm going to post it here. Maybe we even set that as a reward. I don't know. It's a good video, but so shout out to Cole, baby. Shout out to Chad. I'm going to see you in the morning. But let us get into it. So right off the bat here, the keys for tomorrow. Had to make it bigger for you guys, but do not forget what happened now last Friday. Don't forget how we came in here. It was the holidays. It was a little bit weird. Again, lower volume where we've been here, and I was wrong. I was expecting the market to kind of melt up here on Friday. So don't forget this. Remember, we did get some negative Hong Kong news, or the Hong Kong bill was signed by Donald Trump and what that was going to imply. But now, too, there's another set of news that came out today. I think it was today or yesterday, like last night. And it was how China is demanding now. They want, the rollbacks, and that's the thing we need to be looking for here. This is what is going to be setting up this month. There is the Santa Claus rally, and again, with my end of the year theory, I'm expecting the market to come up here towards the end of the year like it did in 2017. But if there is anything that could throw a wrench in that, and this is where we have to start setting up for and looking from. Right now, the time will fly in the stock market, but December 15th, and now what it has to do with the trade war and those additional tariffs, whether they're going to be, suspended. But now China in this news, they're bringing up, something different than even discussed before, where they want not only the tariffs not to come back into place, but they also want a rollback. So it's going to be interesting to see how this weighs in towards the end of the year and even what we've been expecting. So stay on your toes, and that is even one of the keys. Overall, well, I could get on a philosophical rant with this, but get ready. I hope you guys are prepared. This is that last month of the year. This is the second day, well, technically our first trading day of it. There's a few things at play, so we got to see. But now the next thing to watch for is this Santa setup, baby. This is the Santa Claus rally. And again, this is that phenomena or people talk about in that usually the markets run up during Christmas. It doesn't always happen. If a lot of new people trading the stocks, they're like, oh, aren't stocks going to go up, retail stocks, because people buy this for Christmas? That's usually priced into the stocks. However, there is times, depending on where the market's at, there's stuff ranging from taxes all the way down to end of the year window dressing or where things are going there. So it's going to be interesting to watch. And now this is where we have to watch up for it is are you going to see a bulk of the move happen in the first two trading weeks, or are we going to see a bulk of the moves happen in the last two trading weeks? So that's where we're going to have to start factoring in how this trade war is going to affect it, because if anything, we might still get a little bumpiness up until then, and what happens with the trade war might cause that follow-through move, or it could be vice versa. So watch out for that. But again, if we are going to get that Santa setup in any sort of repeat of 2017 like I've discussed, if it is a melt-up and this does keep continuing, we need to swing our contracts and get longer dated swings on them. It's either going to be that, or this is what I was saying in reference to the strategy this week and coming into December. That is either going to be the move with longer dated swings, or we're going to be selling premium. But again, we have to see how we come into prices tomorrow and again throughout this first probably week or week and a half. So don't forget the swings. And lastly, baby, just get ready. I hope you guys got your head in the game. I hope you are ready to go. Don't put pressure on yourself with it. I mean, unless you have a sizable win or loss and need to do something for taxes, don't put any pressure on yourself towards the end of the year. Again, a lot could happen. Don't force it. So let's find what strategy is optimal and even get ready for 2020, man. We had our cold new year about a month ago now. So it's going to be exciting how we see 2019 close out. So, and even then coming in after that. So I guess more adage to now the swings and understanding that whole melt up, or even if we do get a big move cumulatively, like in the long run, whether it be at the end of the month or coming into that, but not necessarily big moves every day, which are profitable with the shorter dated contracts. So there is that, but let us get into the plays. I have a few companies I want to look for. You know, we had, I don't think we have too many open trades again from the earnings in this last couple weeks. Can we make it 9 weeks in a row? We're going to find out, baby. So keep your guys' eyes open, post information, let's source it. But there's still a few decent earnings, you know, right off the bat. I will look at FedEx, but those aren't my two stocks, surprisingly. So I guess I could start with FedEx here because they have their earnings in a week or two. They kind of meet the criteria, and there's a few companies that do meet the criteria. But I said this on the live stream because I think shout out Alex, baby. Alex from Arizona, man. Bear down. Or he requested that we do a video talking about, you know, the stocks that meet the criteria. So if you haven't seen that with the earnings video, we could talk about that. But the thing is, we are coming to the later end of this earnings cycle. So some of these companies that report later aren't going to necessarily be the best. Now, FedEx is going to be here in 2 weeks. So the question is, how do we set up? But this isn't going to be one of the main stocks. I still am waiting for these contracts to get cheaper, but they got really expensive. But keep your eye on that. But my two stocks I'm going to be watching this whole week, and I think are going to be good. And they apply to my theory here with a longer dated swing. It's going to be Shopify and Roku. So again, we were waiting for that break of Shopify at 330. We had that debit spread, and then same thing now even with Roku. So these stocks have been big momentum stocks in the past. A few months ago, we've seen what they could do. They could get some steam. So this is, again, coming towards the end of the year here, but even where they're at right now and whatever the market does, I think these could be some good swings. So if they don't start breaking out, they could still make some pretty big moves in a 1-2 week time frame. So watch out for that. And maybe they could even be both ways, like even like Shopify if that does come down. But those are going to be the main ones I'm looking for. The Shopify's are a little bit expensive right now. I think the main thing you could do with them, I meant to come here to the option chain. You could do you could get some contracts like January, you know, December 20th is decent, but like I'm saying with this, and anything could happen here towards the end of the year with everything setting up, a lot of time could actually be very, very beneficial from here on out. But there's even some debit spreads like a 410, 415. You can do that for like $60 with the $500 reward. But this is that's definitely out there a little bit. But definitely debit spreads. And now too on the reverse. And now this is going to relate to some of the other plays I want to be watching tomorrow. So watch Roku and Shopify and FedEx. And again, and we'll keep a tentative eye on FedEx. The key is going to be pricing and setting up for earnings. But that's probably going to be the main dish next week. But then now, like I was saying, like HD for the second end of the strategy, you know, I was expecting them to play like McDonald's. We were up on that credit spread, and then we were down, but we closed out of that McDonald's from last week. If you guys remember that, we did that credit spread, and it made about like $400 off that. It wasn't bad at all. Remember, there was that little assignment risk, but we got out of that. We were able to cash out. That was a great trade. But even like HD, I'm expecting HD to kind of look like McDonald's, but the strategy here and the plays I'm going to be looking for, if there isn't good longer dated swings in these stocks, we're not able to see what the price is and how things are moving, we're going to start selling premium again. It's starting to look a lot appetizing here, a lot more appetizing. You know, think about it. Earnings is over. We got weeks to wait in between events, and it's very a toss-up. Companies have made, again, these big moves after earnings and setting up an overall broad market. Now, you got stuff really just hanging at the top and stuff hanging at the bottom here in that middle. It's looking good, or it's creating a good environment for us to do that. So watch out for Home Depot. That's going to be what I'm watching. Then I'm going to be watching Disney. Don't forget about Elsa, baby. But I really like Frozen. I mean, it's like I'm a really big fan. I kind of want to add these guys to the long-term portfolio, but watch out for Disney. You know, they're still on the uptrend. I like them. We've been watching them there. They've been in there, again, slower mover, but bigger swings. But you guys have even seen from last week, we did one with like an extra week. Disney still went up and made a big move over the last week. However, we didn't have enough time on the contract. So even though we were kind of right and we got more time than a weekly, this is showing why you'd want to get more time. So I like Disney, though. I'm going to be watching them. Then NVIDIA and the chip makers, they're going to be good, and that's one thing to watch with them. One thing to watch NVIDIA. But as far as the other chip makers, AMD, don't forget about them. I really like where they're at, and they're moving a little bit different. They've had that big run up. We still have that free ghetto spread on the downside, so we have a little bit of that put exposure for free. But that they're holding up after that big run up, it's kind of like they're kind of basing out and setting a level. Pretty decent. I mean, if they start making an uptrend, that's why I watch the overall chip sector and how they're going to perform. But even like Qualcomm and all those kind of gave back after hitting these highs. So watch AMD. But then The next set of plays we should be watching tomorrow, now I'm going to still keep an eye out. Don't forget, Ross came up on one of those. Again, we had contracts that are too far out of the money with not enough time here, but earnings continuation. So if we want to play some of these, keep that in mind. So I don't have a play on Ross that I think is viable, but watch them for the earnings continuation. And again, like we saw last week, Dollar Tree, we still have that rollover we're holding. It's still a little bit further out the money, but see how Dollar Tree plays out. And if that does start to slip up there, that could be good. But again, if there has been any of these big earnings that we've seen, those are going to be good plays. So watch them. Palo Alto Networks, they bounced, so that would have been another like 800% play last week. We didn't take it. Some people did, but there's that. Then Expedia as well. Remember I told you guys it had about like $5-6 in there. It went up pretty good. So they're going to be a good one to watch, or again, even to sell premium if they start bouncing and now cucking at this level. Then beyond, we picked up some of those long-term shares, but I kind of like them right here. I want to watch them again. And I'm really going to be watching even momentum throughout this week, and I want to see what gets momentum. So Beyond, has its own little category in a way. And then, like we said, watch AMD. Then finally, I'm going to talk about this here. Actually, I think it's going to come up sooner than we think. Actually, next week, December 10th, 11th, but that's the Fed meeting. So don't forget about those TOTs. We still got some in play, but TOT is going to, it's holding up at like this for a reason, and what it does here in this next week could be very important, but it's literally right around the corner, so don't forget about that. It's kind of been muted considering we didn't have the meeting in November. So think about our last Federal Reserve, interest rate decision. That was in October. So we've went all of November without it. So that meeting is next week, December 10th, 11th. So we'll definitely be covering that. But watch TOT, and then even then watch the banks. But these could be a good one. Again, better to be late than wrong, but depending on how things start to unfold, this could be a little secret gap, because I think the pricing is it's been ignored very much so ignored. People look to too many things, but that is that's all I have. That is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you guys post your watch list. Make sure you're hydrated, healthy, ready to go. Make sure we see you in the morning, and understand you're blessed. Hopefully you had a great holiday weekend. All of that's over, and I hope you're ready to close out the year. I think we're going to have an exciting 2020, baby, and you better start talking yourself into it right now. If you don't even believe it, that's fine. Just come hang out with the cult. You'll believe it eventually. You'll get there. You'll make some moves, baby. I hope you're ready. Let's go!